Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Simona Spark, and our mission is to build a future where no one needs to come out anymore. Together, we can create a world where everyone has the right to love, to succeed, to have a family, and to live a full, happy life.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we will talk with Robyn. Welcome, Robyn, and thank you for accepting my invitation.
Thank you.
I have the pleasure to meet Robyn the other day, and I could tell you she is a super mom. So, Robyn, would you share a little bit about yourself, who you are, where do you live?
Thank you very much. So my name is Robyn, and I am the mother to 3 beautiful boys. I have twins that are 28 and a young man that is 21. One of my twins and my youngest son are both gay. So I identify as the mother of some boys and 2 are gay. And I also am a dental hygienist. I take care of United States veterans within the VA hospital, and I reside in Arkansas in the United States.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Robyn. And let's just jump right in. What was your experience as a mother of 2 gay sons when they come out?
One of my 28-year-old twins came out first. It was not a huge surprise to me. He was between his 3rd and 4th year of college, so he was around 21. He told me in the dark he wouldn't look me in the face, and he was nervous. And I said, okay, that's fine. And I said, all I want for you is happiness and love. And he sat there for a while and hugged me and said, thanks, Mom. He said, I knew you'd understand. And I did.
Wonderful.
I was not totally surprised at all. My younger son came out publicly on social media and didn't tell me first. And I actually...
Oh, so you find out from his media?
I did, from his Instagram post. So I called him and I said, hey, did you want to tell me something? And he goes, oh, so you saw it, huh? And I said, I did. And he said, can I still come home? I'm still your youngest son. I said, of course you can come home. You are still the same person, and I love you with all my heart. And I said, but this has been a big burden for you to carry around. And I think that's what broke my heart the most, is that both of them probably knew younger than they wanted to tell me, and it wasn't ever, I never thought to bring it up. It wasn't something that was like on my radar to discuss. I didn't feel like they were maybe struggling with a relationship or anything. As a single parent, I had a very busy household. I wanted them to do well in school and in their extracurricular activities. I wanted them to have fun with their friends, and I wanted them to make good grades, and I wanted them, they each had to work as they got old. So they had part-time jobs, and I never really thought a lot about their sexuality as far as like being a struggle or something they wanted to talk about. They could have come to me anytime. It appears that they just weren't ready until they were around, 21.
Yeah.
So Ryan, my youngest, lives very out loud, and I think life has gotten easier for him, and his anxiety is less. And now that he just lives right out there with everything, and it has made it fun for me because he is more open to share about his friendships and his relationships and the books he reads and his choices in life.
How is it for you as a mother to see your son like living his truth 100% with no restrictions and no limitations?
It makes me happy to see him living his truth. His older brother doesn't exactly live as large or as loudly, and I want that for him. And I try to express that in the things that I have chosen to do in living out loud. And I understand his reservations. My oldest child is concerned that the extended family, primarily my mother, would not accept him as much or love him as much. And he expressed that the day he told me. He said, I'm only telling you, please don't tell my grandmother. I want her to love me. And I said, I understand. I do not think my mother is as accepting. And I have gently tried to open her up to the idea casually and with some acceptance, but we haven't made it very far.
I just want to honor the fact that your son will not come out to his grandma because he doesn't want to jeopardize that connection that they have. And I'm just curious how grandma sees the other grandson that is also gay.
They weren't very close to begin with. Child didn't feel like there was a lot of relationship lost in being his truthful self. And so my mother will occasionally say, "And how is he?" But she doesn't call him or reach out or even try to. And he lives far away. So it makes it easier not to have to look at it. The unique thing is each of my children, even though I said spread your wings and go where you want, and I meant that, they have chosen not to live in the Bible Belt, so to speak, of the United States, so that there is a little bit more diversity in each of the towns they live in. And they've chosen to live in much larger cities than they were raised in. And there's more diversity there, I think more acceptance. And so I honor that as well. And I go to see them instead of them coming home.
Talking about the small town and the community, you have shared with me it has been some struggles there. Do you mind sharing about that?
There are struggles. I live near a university town, and I think that there are less struggles there, but there's still a lot of violence, and I live in fear for the people in my community that are LGBTQ. There are people that hang out in the university town, go to the university bars, go to the restaurant, and they are picked on and they are made fun of by other people that are their age that should be much more accepting. I try to be aware if I'm someplace of anybody that might be picking on someone. Last summer there were two young men that were a couple that were leaving together, and they were both hospitalized after being brutally beat up by two drunk men that were probably their same age, in their 20s. The homophobic attitude that is here is disturbing to me. I guess that's probably my largest fear as a mother with gay sons, is that I want them to be safe, and no one should have to worry because of who you choose to love that you can't eat someplace or socialize in a restaurant or go to the movies or shop in a store with fear for your safety or your health.
Yeah. As we are living good times and we see so much progress regarding LGBTQ community across the board, right? We also need to be aware that homophobia is real and people get hurt.
Yes.
Might be isolated but still exist.
That's correct.
And appreciate that you speak to that.
Right. So that is my greatest fear for my children and the community here, the LGBTQ community as well. But there's some hardcore religious people who think that it's wrong, it's a sin, they're not affirming churches. There are some, but there are a lot that are not. And there are a lot of people within the community that don't know that I'm the mother of a gay child if they don't know my children well. And for my safety, even though the VA is an affirming community and speaks to that truth, I don't loudly speak to that in my work environment because I'm afraid that probably I might have some repercussions even with the people I work with. And I need the job I have.
Yeah. And that's another discrimination that we see in the work environment and in religion and how we express our spirituality. And speaking about that, what is the solution that you found for yourself and your family?
So the solution for me was that I felt that it was important to raise my children in a church. And as little children, like minors, they went to church with me. And in a church that at that time I never thought about whether or not it was affirming or that they might even consider speaking to the youth against any kind of LGBT community kind of sidebars. I never thought about that at all. And as my children came out, I realized that the church that I had raised them in was not affirming and had been really uncomfortable for my two gay boys. And I changed churches. I left because I couldn't, that's not my truth. I can't sit there and believe that what they're doing is right when at home I don't believe that's right. So I interviewed with some different churches. I reached out to some people I knew. I have a dear friend who is a wonderful father to two little boys in the neighboring town, and he is gay. And he's like, come to my church, see what it's like. And so I now attend a church that is affirming. The pastor there was willing to speak with me, and he openly will do a wedding between two people, regardless of their gender or how they identify. And he's supporting of couples having children and raising them in a loving environment. And it's a very comfortable place for me to be. And I also feel authentic in my worship there. I feel comfortable saying who I am and that I don't have to hide anything or be guarded in my speech. So changing churches, and it's hard to leave a community where you know everyone in a church community, but everybody was very opening and welcoming and made it easy to change. And I was proud to tell my children so that they knew that I was trying to live more out loud and more in line with who I want to support them as being.
Yes, beautiful. That is so powerful, Robyn. Thank you for showing us how one doesn't have to choose between own children and the spirituality. It's possible to have both.
Right.
By finding the new place that it's aligned with your beliefs, with how your family looks like, and how do you want to express and practice your spirituality.
Right.
So powerful.
Yes, it is powerful. And it made me feel like a better mom. And then to be able to reach out to more people. I think for me, that the church is supposed to be loving and welcoming and mirror the image of what would Jesus have done in this time or day. And I don't think he would have pushed someone away for anything. So I think he would have said, come with me, to my Father's house. I think that that's what a church should look like for me in my heart. So I'm glad that I can tell my children that. So one of my children attends an affirming church where he lives, and my youngest child has kind of walked away at this point. And he really struggled with the hurtful things that were said when he was a little boy, and he's still working through a lot of that. And there's always time.
Yeah, there is time, and as I repeatedly say here, it's a process for everyone, and we are all having our own speed to go through that process, and just allowing to, take as much or as little time as needed, and we are not processing the same.
Exactly. And the point that it should be made is that it's okay to process, it's okay to have a step back, and as long as we're working towards that, love is louder, love is bigger, and it's the most important thing. We're all here together to share this journey, and we should be here to celebrate what we get to do in life, the adventures we make, the milestones we cross, the life we live, the relationships we have. It shouldn't have anything to do with our sexuality.
Yeah. Yes. So beautiful. You give me chills.
It is beautiful. It's important to love loudly. I would love my children regardless of who they love. I want to love who they love too, as long as those people are kind to my children. That's all we want out of life, is for our children to be happy. I know that's what my mother wants for me, and I don't think it changes as we age.
Right.
And I would love each of my children to have a significant other in their life, and if they want to have children, if they want to, advance in their career, if they want to travel, I want all those things for my children. I think most mothers do.
Yeah, I think that too. And what you will say to another mom that she might be in a similar circumstance, single mom with gay children and probably living into a conservative community?
I think that you can feel very alone. So reaching out and finding mothers that are in similar situations helps, just to have someone to talk to. I found a group online that are just moms with children that belong in the LGBT community. And it's a safe place to speak our truth or ask questions or have heartbreak, that it's not exactly what we thought when we held our baby at birth, that we have this, some of us have this imagined idea of, oh, this cute little girl will grow up and she'll have a wedding dress, and, she and her husband will have, children and a picket fence and all those ideals. And then we feel like they're crushed if that changes. And some mothers experience that, but finding friends and being able to talk, even in social media settings, in a safe environment, has helped me. Reading books, reaching out to find someone that was a pastor that was affirming and could speak to the fact that I wasn't wrong, and that my children are loved, and that they're not a mistake, and that God is bigger than what some people look at. So finding friends that way, and sometimes we lose some friends, sometimes we lose some family, but sticking up for the children and, speaking to their truth and fighting for them is something we should do, even in their sexuality and how they express that. Yes. Some children express those situations much younger than mine did, and I didn't have any experience with that. But through the social media that I've done, lots of children know much younger. I totally support moms that are like, do you think I should ask the principal, ask the counselor, seek a therapist? And, there are lots of avenues out there, but feeling not alone. None of us are alone, and we just need to find those people like us.
Yes. And we do across the world. That's the thing. When you reach out and ask for help and you get curious in learning more, you just open yourself up for new possibilities and new opportunities. And so many doors are opening for you. Just make it a beautiful thing, a beautiful experience in the end.
Yes, and a much richer life. For learning more and experiencing more.
Yeah.
And so, and it's definitely out there if you want the help and raising children it just takes the time and love and care.
Yes. Thank you so much, Robyn. I really appreciate your sharing and your time. It's been a real pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Redefine Family, a Spark Transformation podcast. Feel free to share your story, knowing that your story could change someone's life. We invite you to spread the love by sharing our message with others. And leave your comments at spark@redefinefamily.com. Until next time, remember that you are the spark in your life. Just shine bright.